Hey guys, it's finally time to bring you guys with me on a ride with the Kaabo King GT Pro. I want to share a few thoughts with you. There are many things that I really love about this scooter and others that I'm not a huge fan of, and we're gonna talk about pretty much all of them. The feeling you have from this Kaabo King GT Pro is a scooter that is extremely stable, is extremely sturdy. Riding on this, now I'm riding, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm riding at 20 miles per hour, and I can ride without any issue with just one hand. It's something, of course, I don't recommend anyone doing that. But with the two-stem front fork, you have a level of stability that is just incredible. If you leave it at the right gear, if you limit the power output, it's a scooter that is actually extremely forgivable. And it becomes suddenly a scooter that is perfect for someone that needs to learn. Just to bring you an example, my wife was interested in learning how to ride electric scooters. And when we go together, I leave her the Kaabo and I take the Move. Why is that? Because once I leave them the Kaabo and I leave it in gear 2 or even gear eco mode, in both single or both motors, the scooter becomes extremely safe, because now she's going at 15 miles per hour on a scooter that is meant to go at 60 or 65 miles per hour, and that's to me it's a huge advantage of the Kaabo. How much you can play with that and how much you can feel safe. The suspension, so it's very sturdy and very stable. When it comes to the suspension, I feel, at least personally, they are a little bit too hard for my preferences. And as you know, there is no way to adjust the suspension, no, like you can do on the King GT, on the King GTR. Here you cannot do that, and it's true, it's meant to go off-road and to jump, but when you go on roads like this, paved roads, you feel every single bump. When it comes to the brakes, now here we have a fully hydraulic brakes, both front and rear, and they do an incredibly good job. I had only one issue when it comes to the brakes, and the issue is related to a leak from the rear brake. So from the lever, I noticed that it lost some braking power, and it started leaking. And I noticed that was inside the brake lever, there was the olive that was not properly assembled. It was really not a big deal. It was something that I was able to pretty much address on my own without any issue whatsoever. I paid $20 and I replaced the olive, and then I replaced the entire the fluid, and now they work very well. Let's talk a bit about another important still related to the performance. Something that I really love, and I hope you guys can see my screen, is how you can really decide what kind of power, the level of power you want the scooter to deliver to you. Now we are going at in second gear, and we are in single motor. Okay, single motor means that is rear motor only, and you can see that when you accelerate, because you have only a bar, a green or blue or red bar to the left, you can tell the controllers how much power you want on each gear, and the maximum speed that you want the scooter to reach. Like in this gear 2, I set it to go around 25 miles per hour, right? And that's just great, right? Now I can suddenly set it in I can set it in a dual motor, and now I'm going to accelerate. Now you feel the acceleration is different, no? But it's still very soft, very manageable. It's a scooter that, again, I gave to my wife without any issue, and she's learning, no? And most importantly, she's going at 20 miles per hour with a scooter that is meant to do way more than that. I'm going now to put it in gear 3, okay, in dual motor. We're going at 9 miles per hour, full acceleration. And now you probably see from the screen how much it changes. As you can see, the scooter arrived at 38 miles per hour, around 40 miles per hour, and it limited the speed at that level. What do I feel? Well, it's a ride that is very comfy. Again, 40 miles per hour, I am riding with one hand. I don't recommend doing that, but the stability is just incredible. Just incredible. I'm cruising at 40 miles per hour, dual motor. Here you see the indication that both the two motors are pushing. Again, very, very nice ride. Now in speed in gear 4. By the way, the scooter has 60% battery left. We are at our 9 miles per hour still. And we are on an inclination. No, it's a light uphill. Okay, we're gonna floor it now. 9 miles per hour, roughly. Floor it. Now it's spinning front, it's spinning rear. The speed is going like incredibly fast, and now we are suddenly at around 50 miles per hour. And while the scooter is just handling without any issue. Without any issue. I hope you guys were able to see. And the acceleration, again, at any speed, it's just very, very powerful. We are now in gear 5, slight uphill. We're gonna go 9 miles per hour, and we're gonna floor it. A lot of spin front and rear, like crazy, and now it goes up like crazy. We're gonna slow down, but again, it can go over and over and over. It can go. Again, we were at roughly 50 miles per hour, and on an uphill at 50 miles per hour. It's just insane. Uphill at 50 miles per hour. It's just insane. I rode it actually in a proper road, and I got it to 63, I think 64. But you know, it's not even about the maximum speed. I'm still in speed 5. I accelerate, boom, like here is how the speed is increasing. It's just a beast. It's just a beast. Comes with 2 controllers. Now the Sunwave controllers, which they do an incredible job. And as I showed you earlier, like let's put it now in speed 4. Look at how I can modulate the speed, how I can control the speed. Let's talk a little bit about the single motor versus dual motor. Here what I like to do. The beauty of the dual motor setting is that, which is something I love, it's of course the power. When you set it in dual motor, the power is just incredible. However, there are a few issues there. The first one, when you have dual motor, both the controllers are engaged. When both the controllers are engaged, what I noticed, especially when the status of charge is above 80%, the acceleration it's very rough. So if I go from a starting point like this, from a stop point, and I accelerate very slowly, when the battery is 80%, you don't feel a smooth acceleration. You feel like ta 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 ta, and then it takes on. However, if from a stop point you accelerate a lot, then you don't have any issue whatsoever. Zero issues whatsoever. But at low speed, the dual controllers struggle when you are accelerating very slowly. And that's something that my preference is something I'm not a huge fan of. The other things to consider, and when you live in single motor, at the point you don't have any issue whatsoever. Any issue whatsoever, because now you're using one controller only. The other interesting point about the dual motor configuration is the way the scooter feels when you are accelerating, especially while turning. You really feel that when you accelerate on the turn, the scooter is pushing you on the external part of the turn. It's pushing you outside the turn. And that's logical, right? It's the same concept or similar concept on a front wheel drive car. When you accelerate, right, it's gonna push you on the outside of the turn. And you feel it here, you feel it, and it's a very weird sensation. Cruise control is something I use a lot. I like because it's very precise and it doesn't take long for that to engage. For instance, I'm accelerating a bit, leaving it 40 miles per hour. Now the issue is that it's downhill, but there you go. It set it. Boom, now it's there. Keep in mind that this cruise control, which is similar to my move, it's not precise in a sense that it locks the miles per hour. What I noticed is that it tends to lock the amount of energy that is delivering to the motor. Why? What do I mean by that? Well, if I set, let's say that I'm going on an uphill, and I set the cruise control, let's say at 10 miles per hour on an uphill, okay? The scooter, okay, now I'm setting at 11 miles per hour, boom, locked. Now the scooter locked the amount of power that it needs to stay at 11 miles per hour with this inclination. As we approach a downhill, as you can see, the speed will increase from 11, look now, because the same amount of energy on a downhill would lead inevitably to a higher speed. And so this is something, exactly, now you see that we're going at 40 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour, right? Because it's pretty much setting the amount of energy required to keep the speed at that specific moment. But other than that, the cruise control works very well. You can set it manually, which is not what I like, or automatic like this. I use it a lot, and I just pay a little bit of attention to this phenomenon, right? Where if I'm uphill, I set it a little bit lower than what I want to go, because on a downhill, it's going to accelerate. Regen braking. Now, the regen braking, it's something that I love. I'm a huge fan of regen braking for a couple of reasons. First, it's true that you are pretty much not increasing your range. That's at least based on my experience. But what I love the most is the idea that I can use that energy for another purpose rather than just wasting it. And the purpose is just to brake, right? And so I love the regen braking a lot. In the past I wanted to buy an Apollo scooter, and one of the reasons was that the Apollo, they really nailed the technology behind the regen braking. And the second reason is because it gives me braking power. By the way, you can set the regen brake power. You have five levels, and you can just set them at for each gear. Like setting gear 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, you can have a completely different behavior when it comes to regen brake. And what I do, I leave in gear 5, as I did earlier, regen brake at power 4. No, it's a very powerful regen brake that works very, very well at high speed. When you are at low speed, then the regen brake it's quite choppy. Now let's test it together. Regen brake, we're gonna go a little bit faster. Okay, I will brake this is just regen brake. That's just regen brake, guys. Nothing else. And so, as you can see, it's a very powerful help. Like a braking help on top of your brakes. I didn't even use my brakes. Now on speed 4 I have regen brake again, but now it's way milder. Now what is interesting is that Kaabo did a great job on setting the regen braking, setting the controllers in order for them to modulate, to set and to tune the regen braking properly at a different speed level. If I want to brake now, look, now this is the regen brake. As you can see, it's significantly less powerful than earlier, despite being set at the same level.
It's worth mentioning, though, that the regen braking, especially if utilized heavily, I think about for extended period of time or in a steep downhill, might lead to overwhelm the controllers. They might overheat and eventually fail, might be damaged. So in some instances, many users prefer to use the disc brakes, the hydraulic brakes, and worst case scenario, replace the pads rather than relying heavily on the regen braking.
The range. Now, Kaabo, I think has on the website around 110 miles in eco mode. It's true, sometime when I ride in eco mode, I got, I got a lot of range, and I think I got around 90 miles of range, 95 miles of range in eco mode, going at, I would say, 15 to 17 miles per hour, which is pretty much the speed of the scooters that you can rent, 80 miles. But when you go at a higher speed, when I go to work, I average around 25 miles per hour, I would say 25, 30 miles per hour, and in some instances I go 40. Well, in that instances, I can probably squeeze, I would say around 40 miles, 35, 40 miles. So if you go faster, the range will be significantly affected. Now, to wrap up this video with my impression, I wanted to tell you a couple of things. It's a scooter that has been around now for quite long, and I think Kaabo did a great job with the two controllers, the dual sound wave controllers. They do a good job. As you can see, I can accelerate very smoothly. Would I buy this again? Yes, I would. I would certainly buy this again, and I was considering buying actually another one for my wife. They were on sale for $2,900, $2,800. And so yes, I would buy another one, honestly. And nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this review. I hope you found this helpful. And nothing. If that's the case, please subscribe and leave any comments or